Greetings, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Nanaiya Spirit Medicine. I am Nanaiya, your host this evening. And tonight we are diving into something that changes everything about how you experience your life. We live in a world where most people are reacting to life, struggling against circumstances, battling inner voices, trying to force their outcomes. But what if the real secret to life isn't resisting your reality, but understanding how your inner world shapes it? And so in today's episode, this is about why the story you have been told, the one about reality being fixed or external, is actually the very thing holding you back from creating the life that you want. And this episode is called Why Ignoring the Story You're Told is the Key to Creating Your Reality. And by the end of the episode, I promise you'll never view your inner world the same way. Let's begin by grounding our energy together with a few controlled breaths. This helps keep the energy balanced and clear for me throughout the session. Okay? So what I would like you to do is sit comfortably, keep your spine erect. You're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. But if you're a masculine energy, I would like you to put your left hand over the center of your heart space and your right hand over the left. And if you're feminine energy, then just switch it over, okay? And then when you take this breath in, I would like you to take it in slow and controlled to the apex of the lungs, meaning that your lungs need to fill up to the full capacity, and then drop your shoulders. Just suspend the breath. Don't hold it tight, just suspend, okay? To a count of 4. And you're going to count in your head, okay? And then when you're finished with that count, you're going to release through the nose slowly and controlled, the same way, but pushing all of that energy out, okay? And we're going to do this a few times. So let's begin. Ready? Take a deep breath in. Drop your shoulders and suspend the breath. Release. One more time. Drop the shoulders and suspend. Release. Good. One more time. Breathe in. Drop the shoulders. Release. Push that air all the way out. Wonderful. Thank you for joining me. So the illusion of reality as external, well, let's just say people ask me that all the time. They say, Nanaiya, how do you change our lives? How do we heal? How do we create success or feel more connected? And my first question back is always, what do you think reality is? Most people answer something like, it's what happens to us. It's what we believe in and what we experience every day. It's external. It's the world around us. And this belief that reality is something outside of you is one of the most powerful illusions we live with. We think reality is a thing that happens to us, like weather or gravity, something we endure, not something we create. But here's the truth. Your inner state, your expectations, beliefs, focus, emotions, or interpretations, these are all the channels through which your reality forms. If you're consistently reacting, stuck battling or resisting, trying to fix things, you are essentially handling or handing your power away. You're not holding on to it. Your mind becomes like a radio receiver, tuned to station you never consciously chose, or many stations, like mine. Mine can be an open frequency for hundreds of entities to want to come in and talk with me. That's a lot of energy wasted. So instead of the world tuning you, you end up tuning to the world. And that's where suffering begins. But here's the science and about the science and the spirit of creation. Okay, let's talk for a moment about creation on two different levels. Science and spirit. Science tells us everything is energy. Everything. And energy is everything. And your thoughts are not just thoughts, they are frequency, and that is true. Your beliefs are not just beliefs, they are programs that shape how you filter experience. Once again, accurate. Now, Spirit tells us consciousness is the architect of form. If you merge these two, you realize something powerful happens. The internal world isn't a reflection of the external, it is the source of it. That's powerful. So let me put it this way, okay? When you think of something real, consistent, and familiar, your brain releases patterns, emotions, expectations, and intentions. Like a seed planted in fertile soil, those internal signals begin to grow. This doesn't require magic. It requires coherence. And coherence between your identity tools, your inner beliefs, and your focus tools, where your attention goes, that's where that is. Because the universe doesn't need you to force things into happening. It responds to who you are becoming. So the real question is not, what should I make happen? But, who am I becoming? And this is the pivot most people never make. And it's why so many people chase outcomes that never materialize. Stories are filters, not truth. So let's pull into something relatable, okay? You are not your thoughts. You are not your past. You are not your circumstances. But you have stories, mental narratives about all of those things. So when someone says to you, you can't do that, you're not good enough, that's impossible. Your mind doesn't hear words, it hears identity scripts. And identity scripts are like filters. They process experience in a way that makes everything feel consistent with your current inner world. So if you've lived most of your life believing you're not worthy, which a lot of people do, your world will reflect that pattern that proves that belief. Okay? But here's the twist. Those stories are not reality. They are interpretations. That's all it is. They are memory frozen in assumptions. And when you realize that, everything becomes fluid. Because stories can be rewritten. And when the story in your mind changes, your reality begins to shift without force. So let's define what we mean by ignoring the story you're told. This is ignoring the external narrative. It's not denial. It's not turning away from life. It means that you no longer give energy to external narratives that condition you. Taking your power back. We discussed that last weekend. Yeah. You no longer let other people's limitations define your possibilities. You stop feeding attention to fear and doubt and distraction. And instead, you let your inner alignment generate your outer experience. You switch from responding to creating. Here's the key. People say this all the time. I'm sure you've heard it on social media or in a group of people, that where attention goes, energy flows. So if you're constantly thinking about things that are in low vibration, you're going to attract that. But if you're thinking about things in a high vibration, you're going to attract that also. So where energy flows, forms begin to emerge. And if your attention is scattered, reactive, or fearful, you are broadcasting instability. Yeah, a lot of people are doing it. And it's just making people so sick. But when your attention is centered and coherent and directional, your life begins to move with you, not against you. This is the difference between survival mode and creation mode. Okay? Now there's 3 gates of creation. Let's talk about the 3 gates through which creation always flows. Okay? Identity gate. This is your baseline sense of self, your beliefs about who you are. Your emotional gate. This is the charge you put behind your focus, the emotional weight you assign to your intentions, and the interpretation gate. This is how you translate events into meaning. And if any of these gates are out of alignment, creation becomes chaotic. Uncontrolled chaos. Your inner state becomes the magnet for the life you want. But when all 3 align, that happens. Not because you force it, but because you emit a frequency that reality naturally orders around. This is a creation without strain. So let's make this practical. Shift work. Because listening is not enough. You want change, don't you? That's why you're here. You're curious to hear about what I have to say about the change. How am I going to change my reality? How do we do that? Well, here are 3 daily practices that transform your inner world and therefore your outer reality. So, practice 1. Attention revision. Notice where your mind goes when you are not directing it. Are you replaying old stories? Are you feeding fear loops? Make a conscious choice to divert attention to what supports your becoming, not what reinforces your past. Practice 2. This is emotional anchoring. Before you take action, set the emotional tone. Instead of acting out of stress or reaction, start with coherence, calm, focus, clarity, firmness. Your emotional state is the charge behind your intention. Practice 3. Interpretation discipline. Ask the question daily. What meaning am I assigning to this moment? Does it build me or break me? If the interpretation weakens you, you are handing power to circumstance. If the interpretation strengthens you, you are architecting your reality. And that's a powerful thing when you think about it. If you want to become the architect of your reality, what are you going to think about? What are you going to set your focus on? What is going to be your primary thought on a daily basis? Is it going to be high vibrational things that you desire, things with vibrancy and color and clarity? Or are you going to loop back to the past of all the things that never worked and stay focused on that? Oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. I'm sick all the time, I don't have enough money, I don't have any love, all these things that I don't. The automatic no things. What about shifting that reality and everything I have is what I need? I am blessed. I am honored by high vibrational light and source. I receive blessings every day. Everything around me is my abundance. Everything I see is my abundance. That's that shift. That's becoming the architect of your reality. So before I close here, I want to leave you with this. Your life is not something that happens to you. It's just the opposite. Excuse me. It's something that you participate in. Make it a story. Make it a movie. How do you see the story playing out? How do you see this film in front of you? You're the actor. How do you see your part in this film? You want it to be great, don't you? Academy Award. You have to be the architect. And the most powerful choice you can make is not about what you do. It's about how you are internally as you do this. So today, start ignoring the external story that conditions you. Stop responding from fear, habit, fragmentation. And begin turning and tuning inward and tuning into your own internal coherence. Going in to not go without. It's very important that we go within. Because creation doesn't happen out there. It happens right in here. And the longest journey for every human being is from here to here. And that's where you need to be. And it starts from within, always. If you don't go within, you go without. This is how you become the author of your life, not the character in someone else's script. Thank you for tuning in this evening with me. If you found value in this episode, share it with someone who needs it, please. Leave a comment. Let me know which part hit you the most. And please remember to click the subscribe button so that you receive updates of every upcoming episode or anything new that I have going on. And rewatch all of these episodes. Start at the beginning. Go back to the first one. Listen to each one of them. They all work together. They're all correlated. And they are all channeled by the ethereal three. The three entities who I communicate with. Lyra, who represents light. Siren, who represents the fire. And Isola, who represents the earth. And together, we are the ethereal three. And remember, you are not here to survive. You are here to create. So as you move through your day, in your evening, in your life, please walk softly. Be gentle with yourself. And stay on the path of light. And until next time, this is Nanaiya Spirit Medicine. I am Nanaiya, and I am so grateful for you being here. Bless all of you on your journey, and please tune in every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for a new episode. God bless.